Thank you for joining us for Turn the Page with Paige, brought to you by Southwestern Illinois College. I'm your host, Paige Halsey. Here's a really fun game to play with your kids if you haven't yet. Ask them what they think your job is. Their imagination might surprise you, especially if they think that you work in outer space. In the new children's book, Daddy Goes to Space, a child envisions their dad as a super cool space ranger embarking on an exciting adventure, when in reality, he's just in another town on business. Author Melissa White from Washington, Missouri joins us here in studio. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start by setting the record straight. You don't work in space, correct?
Unfortunately not.
And your husband does not work in space.
No, even though my son is still convinced that he does.
Okay, so where did this idea of daddy working in space that your son is sure of, where did it come from?
So my husband works as a combustion engineer. So basically that's fancy words for he gets to play with fire. Every little boy's dream. And he started traveling for work when my son was about 2 years old, right in the prime of his Buzz Lightyear era. And when he was traveling, we were trying to explain to him, you know, what dad was doing. It was hard. It just clicked in his little imagination that he was on the moon whenever my husband was in China, because the time zones were completely different. It was dark there, light here. So he was able to bring this book to light and show us that he thought his dad was a space ranger. So I always had a dream of writing an adult novel and pivoted to something that I could share with my kids and family. So
what a great reminder of just how beautiful and creative and original our kids' minds are when we allow them just to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very fun.
Yeah.
And it's funny to think when he would call dad when dad was in China, it was dark. So yeah, obviously he's on the moon, of course. Mm-hmm. So how did you take that idea, the story he kind of developed in his head, and made it into a real story, the book that we have in front of us?
So I had just some basic notes that I wanted to follow. I really wanted the story to have an overarching theme of, you know, the traveling parent, and just showing that our kids, even if we might have a little bit of guilt, that they think the world of us. I also wanted it to be funny and silly and really, you know, show the little kids 4 to 6 ages that, you know, it's okay to be funny with your family, and you know, there is a page, no spoiler alert, about farts, and that's normally the kids' favorite. But I also just really wanted to do something that I could be proud of. Mm-hmm. And, you know, as we all know with young children, whenever we're reading some books, we're like, whew, that was kind of painful to get through. So yeah. I really wanted it to be short and sweet and rhyme, and have really great illustrations. So it just started to develop, and we got through it.
Can you tell me more about the storyline inside the pages?
Yeah, so the story starts with the dad saying that it's time for him to go to work. And in the illustrations, it shows both sides of him actually going to work, kind of like a more of an airport situation. And then it shows the little boy's imagination blossoming. So through his eyes, it shows that his dad is his hero. It shows that he's going off to fight aliens and save the world. When in reality, you know, he's just doing his day-to-day work. So again, it kind of shows that full theme of, you know, our kids see the absolute best in us, and they really do look up to us. And it was just really fun.
What was that experience like when you got to show your son for the first time this book that you created only because of his idea? I mean, he truly inspired this project.
Yes. No, he was amazed. Every time I would get illustrations, I would kind of show him sneak peeks, but I'll never forget reading him that story, and he brought it to school, and he will still very openly say that his dad is the best, and he will say that there's a book about it, and he has a special blanket that I made sure made it into the book. So he's very proud of that page also.
Okay, so when you're reading it, see if you can find that. I'm curious though, has he learned the truth that dad doesn't really work in space yet? Are you gonna just let him go down
absolutely
that track?
Not. We love it. We love it. Yeah, no, if you ever get to meet my son, he is so special. His imagination is through the roof. He doesn't even need toys. He can just, play independently. It's incredible to see. And, he might be my little business partner because he comes up with things and he loves bragging that his dad is a space ranger. So we are going to go with it. And
well, congratulations to your family on being the astronauts of the Midwest.
Yeah.
You did allude to this earlier. There is a certain amount of guilt, I think, for all parents, for all working parents who travel. Do you have a message to them to just encourage them that it's okay, like you don't have to feel guilty?
Yeah, no, I think I'm full-time nurse practitioner. My husband's a full-time engineer. Our careers are very important to us, and we like to instill that into our children. And I think that we all should be proud of how hard we work. And I think that our children truly do see that passion in us, and they are going to feed off that energy. So if we are proud of what we do and we are open with them and say, we're going to work and this is what we do and this is our passions, and really include them in those things, then, they're only going to see the best in us.
Thank you so much for that pass. The pass today, we don't have to feel guilty. We can be excited and proud of the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're torn between two worlds, but thank you for sharing that encouragement.
Yeah.
I know that you're a busy lady. What else are you working on? You're not done.
So currently I'm in the works on my second children's book. This one was also encouraged by a family member. My sister-in-law Claire works for the St. Louis Zoo, and she has the most incredible job, and we're just so proud of her. And my son obviously thinks she's really awesome too. And I based my second book off of her. So Claire and the Great Zoo Adventure should be out by the end of the year, and I'm really excited about it.
Fantastic. Can't wait to grab that. That'll be just in time for Christmas.
Yep.
Awesome. Before we go, can you recommend another children's book by another author?
Yes, I actually brought a copy. So The Camper and the Counselor was written by Jackie on the Morning Toast. I'm not sure if you listened to that, but it's something that's really lighthearted. She also used some of her family members as characters, which I really enjoyed. And I also think it's just a really fun read for this summer. So that's my book recommendation.
Great recommendation and great story. Great story behind the story. Melissa, congratulations on your first book.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing your second soon.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here as well today. So glad that you could spend a few minutes with us. We hope to see you again next time for the next episode of Turn the Page with Paige.